So real quick, I just want to go over what to expect from Chapter 10. This is all about externalities and property rights. Although I've assigned the entire chapter, really the main things that you need to focus on is positive and negative externalities and how those impact the equilibrium outcome relative to the social optimum. So you have to understand how in a negative externality, the social cost is higher than the private cost, and that results in equilibrium overproducing the good relative to the social optimum. So that's things like pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, other things that you can include in your discussion post about negative externalities. These are things where the social cost is higher than the private cost. Okay, different from this is a positive externality. This involves the benefits being different. For a positive externality, the social benefit is higher than the private benefit, and this results in equilibrium producing too little of the good relative to the social optimum. So the standard example of this is a vaccine. And so I'm only going to get a vaccine based on my private benefit, but me getting a vaccine is not only going to prevent me getting sick, it's going to prevent a lot of other people getting sick. So the social benefit of my vaccine is higher than my private benefit. But I don't care about the social benefit when I'm deciding whether or not to get a vaccine. I only care about my private benefit. And so that results in equilibrium. I end up not getting a shot when I probably should. And so the equilibrium outcome of positive externalities is always too low relative to the social optimum. That's the first big thing you have to understand. The second big thing we have to get through this chapter is the Coase theorem and understanding how socially efficient outcomes can typically be achieved if the two parties involved can communicate without cost. And so that is sort of the Coase theorem. And you really have to understand that, and there'll be a couple of examples on your homework about that. So Chapter 10, all about externalities and property rights. It also goes into common pool resources and positional externalities, and there's a couple questions about that on your homework, but really the main focus is going to be on positive versus negative externalities and kind of their impacts on equilibrium relative to the social optimum, and the Coase theorem, sort of how we can get out of the problems created by negative externalities. One other thing that you guys have to understand is how we get rid of the externality problem, and that is by causing firms to internalize the cost, or in the case of positive externalities, kind of giving subsidies or giving extra incentives to equalize the private and the social benefit. So in the case of negative externalities, usually we impose a tax equal to the amount of the externality, and that will cause firms to basically, their private cost will be the same as the social cost. And in the case of positive externalities, we give subsidies. So if you gave me an extra $20 to get a flu shot, then my private benefit is now $20 higher than it was before. And so that can help bring my private benefit up in line with the social benefit and therefore create the socially optimum outcome in equilibrium. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed Chapter 10.